And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back our Director of Sales, Lucy West.
It's been an amazing day. I know you've learned a lot, but the person I'd like to bring to the stage right now, he's one of the newest members to the Jeunesse family. I had the privilege to go to a few meetings, 3.5 solid weeks, and when you ride through taxis through Germany and you arrive in all these different countries, and I think we even went as far as Israel, Eilat, you really get to know someone. And you also get to see the reaction for all the distributors as they meet them and see the types of presentations. And I could tell after the first few meetings that you could tell that he came from a network marketing background. As a matter of fact, he's been one of the top developers in the real estate market. He's set records for many companies. He's had over 500,000 people in his downlines. He's consulted with many of the most important companies in the industry. But what was most important is that the distributors that heard him speak really felt that they were getting some information that they could take from that meeting and take it home and apply it immediately to their own businesses. And that was the most valuable thing that the company could bring to the people right now. So with that, he really makes me laugh. He's a great person. Please welcome to the stage, Jeff Carlisle.
Thanks, Kiss me till you're drunk and I'll show you all the moves like Jagger. I've got the moves. You didn't know that I used to be a distributor, did you? Yeah, Lucy touched on it. You know, when I got started in the industry, I was in the real estate industry. And I wasn't really looking for anything new because I was having a lot of success selling houses. At least I didn't tell people I was looking for anything new. I was on the outside, everything looked great, new house, new cars, big smile. Nice clothes. The lifestyle seemed to be really great. On the inside, though, I was trying to figure out a plan on how I could have both money and time. Because what I had found in working for other people, typically, you don't get the money and the time. You only get paid what the job's worth. When you work for yourself, a lot of times the business owns you. So I was in a situation where I was making a lot of money, but at the same time, I didn't have a life. I was working 7 days a week, 90 hours a week. When I heard about this industry back in March of 1996, the only reason I went to listen to it was because a friend of mine who was giving me a lot of real estate referrals asked me to go check it out. But once I understood the concept of residual income, I chose to get started. And as Lucy mentioned, what we were able to do with no network marketing experience was to develop a system that was duplicatable, that was extremely simple, that every single person could follow, whether they had experience or no experience. Whether they were going to work this part-time or 1 hour a week, it didn't matter. We developed a step-by-step cookie-cutter system. That system grew. My initial 6 people that I sponsored in the organization, that organization grew with that system to over 500,000 distributors today. So I'd like to share with you a couple of key points of this system. Is that okay with you? Okay, now, when you first get started, understand this. Can I have a slide, please? Oh, there we go. There is a process that you need to follow. This process is the same process that every single distributor must go through. This is called the enrollment process, okay? Each step is very, very important for a distributor to go through. Each step is extremely important for every single prospect to go through. The more steps you take your prospect through, the more success you will have in enrolling them in your business. The more steps they go through, the higher the probability is they will become a distributor in your business. You don't have to do all these steps, but the more you do, you increase your opportunity and your percentage. So, the step 1 is you pique interest. You raise the curiosity of the person to where they want to find out more about the business. Step 2, you introduce a third-party expert. to help you explain the business. Now, I know in China and different parts of Asia, the initial steps, you do not really use a third-party expert. It's more of a personal one-on-one. I believe in Latin America, it's very similar in that way. But in these steps, at some point, you can use a third party to help move people to action. We'll talk about that. Step 3, a presentation. A presentation could be a number of different types of presentations, but every time you do a presentation, you want to do what's called a quick start training. I will show you the quick start training that we use. It's very simple, and it closes people into the business. Step 4 is you want to launch your business. With a new representative, you want to help them launch their business and get started. Launching their business. Think about a rocket ship. It takes off with tons of motion and energy, and it goes forward, and it goes straight up. With every new person, you want to launch. You don't just want to get them started, you want to launch. The next step, step 5, the weekly trainings, presentations, webinars, calls. Very crucial. Training is the key to this business. If anybody wants to make money in this business, they must come to training. And you do not stop coming to training until you have reached your goals. You want to make $1,000 a month? Great. Go to every training possible, learn what to say, when to say, how to say it, until you reach your goal. You want to make $100,000 a month? Great. Every training, every presentation, every webinar. That's a critical step. Number 6, corporate events. How many of you are glad you came to this corporate event today? Corporate events are the key because they give you a belief that you cannot get if you don't come. They give you a belief that we cannot teach you. We can't give it to you. When you leave here today, your confidence and your belief level is going to be at an all-time high. And you'll be able to take that with you to carry you through. Critical step for every new prospect and or distributor on your team, corporate events. And lastly, step 7 is you repeat the system. Each distributor, it doesn't matter if you've been involved 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, you want to continue going through this system over and over again. You need to be a student always, and you need to be a teacher as quickly as possible. So you need to learn what to say, when to say, how to say it, which gives you the tools to be able to communicate the message that you need to give to build a team and to teach others to do the same thing. All the new people, the prospects that are coming through as new distributors, they need to repeat the system. So let's talk about this. Number 1, peak interest. The most important thing is when you approach somebody is to be with confidence. Now, what's great is you have the options now that we didn't have before. See, when you're approaching people on a one-to-one basis, understand this. 55% of all communication is body language. 55% is body language. 38% is the tone of your voice. And only 7% are the words that you say. So you literally, if you have confidence about what you're doing, if you have confidence about where you're going, you can say everything wrong and people will still be interested. How many of you noticed this? How many of you screwed up really bad like me, said everything wrong and people were really interested? So that's only because 7% is words. So you can say everything wrong and still get it right. So the most important key is when you're going out to talk to people is to be confident, and you just want to raise curiosity. You just want to get them curious to find out more. Understand, how many of you have ever been to a movie? I'm worried about this side of the room. No Facebook, no movies. They just build a nest, that's what they do. So think about it. If you're going to tell a friend about a movie, right? You're not going to sit and tell them the entire plot of the movie. You're not going to tell them the ending before they go, or they're going to be upset with you. They have no reason to go. So when you're out to pique interest with somebody, your role is to simply raise curiosity, to get them interested and curious to want to know more, okay? That's the key of this thing. Now, conversations, one-on-one. If you're confident with your conversation, go talk to people. If you're not so confident, you could use tools. Obviously, email through the JBuilder system is a great tool that we can use to pique interest. Simply point, click, attach videos, write the text, change it how you want, hit send, and you've raised curiosity among people. Do you like that tool? J-Mobile. J-Mobile now has changed the way we build the business. It'll change your future. Think about this. All you have to do is send an SMS, and the videos will actually raise curiosity for you. They will get people to say, hey, what is this? What is this about? So again, whether you're doing it face-to-face, in person, or whether you're doing it using the tools that have been laid out, J-Mobile, J-Builder, J-Social, piquing interest. This side of the room, J-Social, yes? Just kidding. You want to raise curiosity. Don't give them the whole story before they hear it, okay? Number two, step two. Introducing an expert. Again, in Asia, this doesn't happen right away. In South America, I believe it doesn't happen right away as well. But what you'll find is that when you're able to introduce a third-party expert, people will move to action a lot faster and a lot more effectively. Let me ask you a question. How many of you have a friend that you know knows nothing about technology? How many of you have a friend that you know has no idea about technology? Like me, right? Would you possibly go to your friend who has no idea about technology and ask them to fix your computer? No way, because you know they just don't know that subject matter. You know you like them, you trust them, but you know that they're limited on what they know about technology. It's the same thing about this business. Your friends know you, they like you, they trust you. Even your team members that are distributors, after a while, they know you, they trust you. But sometimes you need someone else to help you move people to action. For example, how many of you have ever been in a relationship before? How many of you notice that in a relationship, the longer you go in a relationship, the less the other person listens? Have you guys noticed that? Or how many of you have noticed this one? This is classic with friends and family. You could tell something to one of your friends and family members that you're really excited about, and usually you'll get and then a total stranger could come say the exact same thing 2 days later, and your friend or family member is like, wow, that's incredible, you know? It's like they heard it for the first time. How many of you had this experience? See, the closer you are to people, the less they listen. So once you pique interest and raise curiosity, or once you present the concept of the business, a very effective tool to help move people to action is you bring in that third-party expert. You bring in someone other than you. What is an expert? An expert is a fancy word for stranger. All it means is someone other than you is going to help say the same thing that you're saying to validate it and move people to action. Now, you have upline experts, you have sideline experts. You know, it doesn't have to be somebody who's been in the business for a long time. You could have somebody who's new in the business who could be your expert to help validate what you're saying. See, between you and the people you know or your team members, there's trust. But they may not respect you to the level they need in this particular industry. So you bring in a third-party expert, you build their credibility by saying edification or giving them information about their history or their past, and then that person says the same thing you would say, and now you have someone who's listening. Step three, a presentation. This could be a one-on-one. You meet somebody for coffee. You meet them at their home. You meet them at the office. It could be a two-on-one, where you and your upline expert go to meet somebody to present the business, okay? Group meetings. How many of you attend a weekly meeting right now in your town? How many of you have a weekly meeting? Okay? So it could be a weekly meeting that's 30, 40, 50 people get together, maybe 100. Very consistent presentations. Group meetings of any type. Could be a webinar, could be a Skype, could be Google Hangout, it could be anything. Okay? Private business reception. Private business reception is an in-home meeting. This is when you have a new distributor who invites 5, 10, 15 people, typically their easiest, to come to their home, where you come down and you do a short, brief overview presentation of the business. We built a huge, huge organization of private business receptions. See, the weekly meetings are the theater. They're the big show for everybody. But the business is built in between. It's the one-on-ones, the two-on-ones, the private business reception, the in-home meetings where you actually are doing the business. The atmosphere is more comfortable. People's guard is down. They're comfortable with their friends in their home or their office, and they're willing to listen a lot more. So all these are different types of presentations. But when you're doing a presentation, it's very, very important. There's 3 questions that you must answer. See, when you're doing a presentation, the person in the audience is sitting there and they're making unconscious decisions the whole time. When they first walk in, they want to know, who are these people? How many of you remember the first time you walked into a large meeting room? Right? You look around and you're like checking out the people, you're wondering who they are, where they come from. Unconsciously, you're figuring out, do you fit in? Do you belong? Are these people, successful, not successful? Who are they? So people already have their guard up. They're already thinking